WNST, Taos, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are not in Baltimore. We are in Ocean City, Maryland. My wife, Jen Strong.
Making an appearance.
Yeah, cameo. And she's handling the board here. We decided on a Saturday, we're 3 weeks into the tour, today's the 21st, that I wanted to have a romantic white tablecloth dinner with my wife. We're at the Hobbit. We're in Ocean City on 81st Street. Garvey Heiderman runs the joint here, and first off, your place is legendary, man. Like, when people tell me to get a crab cake in Ocean City, I did not make it to you on the first turn, and I kept the second turn open for Mako and the political convention. I said, I reached you. I said, we got to have a crab cake here. We're supposed to have it on Friday. We wound up having it on Saturday, so we mixed it up a little bit. And I'm going to make my wife the guest segment friend on this one, because we've been doing so many crab cakes. But this,
I've just seen two blue herons.
She walked in, and
by.
I didn't know what your place looked like. She walked in, and I was setting stuff up because she dropped me off, and she said, wow. That's the first thing she said.
I think these are the best
wow.
views we've seen.
Yeah, my dad had quite some foresight back in the late 70s.
All right, late 70s. So, give me
a
a little bit of the hit. I don't want to talk about the cake itself. I want to talk about your location. End of 81st Street. I fall on the sword. I've known about you forever.
Yeah.
I've seen flags flying. Never been here.
It's all right. Better late than never.
Why Hobbit? And I guess maybe that's it feels a little bit like a hideaway here, right?
Yeah, so the name originated from my dad just actually put a bunch of names of books that he'd read in a hat. Happened to pull that one out. Wasn't a super strong connection at the time. Obviously, over the years,
it could have been Great Gatsby. It could have been
exactly. He doesn't
To
even
Kill a
remember.
Mockingbird.
Doesn't even remember the other names.
East of Eden.
But,
it could have been,
exactly. But over the years, we've obviously garnered a stronger affinity for it. Like, I actually went to New Zealand a few years ago. Went to the Shire and everything. Pretty cool stuff.
All right, so we've been to New Zealand. We're gonna have to talk when we get our crab cake. We'll talk like lamb chops in New Zealand.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Best hamburger we've ever had, right?
Yeah.
Ferg burger.
You ever have a Ferg burger in Queenstown?
I didn't, but the food there wasn't. They do a great job with their proteins.
Can't go all the way to New Zealand. So, I'd love to. So, are you a chef then when you say great job with the proteins, or are you just an eater?
No, I am. I'm much more of a front of house guy. Jason Perky is our chef. He's done a phenomenal job for us here, and we've had some really good ones over the years. So, but back to kind of the history of the Hobbit, just to do the broad strokes. So, this is actually the third iteration of the Hobbit. The first one started 1977. It was actually right in front of where a rope walk is, just a block up north. Little repurposed White House from 1977 to 1983, and then in 1983 we built a big freestanding building right here on this location, and that was there from 1983 until 2005. A big 400-seat restaurant. That's what most people remember. It was a big red building. Had a cafe side, fine dining side, great happy hour, stuff like that. Kind of all things to all people. And then we sold the property back in 2005. Reopened here in spring of 2008.
So you had 3 years down as a brand.
Yeah, it was built. Being built for 2.5 years. So closed fall 2005, reopened spring of 2008, and we've been rocking and rolling here in this location. So obviously, we're more kind of single stream, fine dining, white tablecloth destination spot, but still the same great view, and just try to give awesome service and awesome food.
Well, I mean, it really is. It's old school, right?
Yeah.
And I guess proudly so, right?
Very much so. The number one goal is obviously make Dad proud. He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this place over the years, and it's really cool. We have not only a lot of people that used to come in from the old Hobbit, but the generational thing is really cool because you have tons of people that came in as young children with their parents, and now they're bringing their kids in. They had a
special occasion here for Dad's, granddad's birthday, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and it's cool to see, literally the third generation of people coming to the Hobbit to experience it. So, we take a lot of pride in that.
Garvey, so many people come to the beach and think like seasonal. Are you seasonal, or are you open in January? Or no?
We open Wednesday before Easter, and then we close at the end of October. So that's our typical season, about 32 weeks.
You're a beach kid? You grew up down here?
I did, born and raised.
So many people, in the beginning and now. And I'm a kid that came down here. You mentioned 77.
Yeah.
My uncle ran the bonfire.
Yeah.
So I've been down here telling stories. I told my wife today, right, we're down on 4th Street.
Yeah.
The softball diamond down there was the original diamond where the Hobbit team softball would play Phillips, and everybody would hate Harrison's coming in, and everybody had ringers coming from Berlin over here. So I remember all that, but I guess for dining here, buffets and Thrasher's, French fries, there's so many things you can do. But to get a quality crab cake, everybody told me I need to be here. So you've sort of shut the place down so we can have a romantic little dinner. We're going to talk about
it down
the
on
tour.
Saturday for Nestor.
Well, we're early. We're doing a little early. Well, I mean, you don't want us in here screaming in the middle of your dinner hour either. Tell us a little about the crab cake and what we're going to have, and I'll let you go down. We're going to tell some stories.
So, I mean, first and foremost, sounds probably a little simplistic, but the key ingredient obviously is crab, and I think a lot of people forget that. What I would always consider our crab cake is more of a purist crab cake. I do enjoy a crab cake sometimes. It has filler, fried, a lot of seasoning in there, but that is not ours at all. Ours is literally Maryland jumbo lump crab meat, a little bit of imperial sauce to hold it together. We source crab meat from guys, two main people, J.M. Clayton out of Cambridge, which they're the oldest.
Well, of course, I toured J.M. Clayton.
Yeah, they're awesome guys. All the Brooks brothers and stuff. I mean, they're fifth generation.
Jack Brooks' cooler is the cooler we put the ice in on the way to the Foreigner.
Yeah,
that's literally Jack's cooler.
Yeah,
I went over and toured his place, and the videos have been. If you haven't seen the videos, please go to Baltimore Positive. Jack was very open, and I held the camera up on these beautiful immigrant Mexican women that like the ninja.
It's
Michael
amazing
Phelps
with those little parent knives.
Michael Phelps of like clean, Olympic.
It's a different level. It definitely is. It's an art form.
But we've talked so much about how the grasses feed, and you have all of this going on here that it's such a Maryland thing to be pulling these out, and for you to do business with Maryland people and True Blue, literally.
Yeah, Bill Brooks and he's my contact, one of the Brooks brothers there, and then also Brian Hall at GW Hall. Those guys, we get the primary amount of our crab meat from them, and it's been a really tough year for crab, and fortunately they've been able to help us out, and we are extremely appreciative, and they know how important crab cakes are to our menu, and we can't get something from imported and make our same crab cake. You'll see when you have them. It's a very simple crab cake.
We know this, right? I mean, when you leave and you go to make the crab cake, she and I will. We've learned a lot about this, right? You've definitely learned because she thought she didn't eat crab before.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
pretty wild to think about. I explain it to people about a pound of crab meat. You only get 2 jumbo lumps out of a crab essentially, and I mean to get 1 pound of jumbo lump crab meat, I mean you're talking about 50+ crabs.
Davey Hahn's my dear friend Nancy Devine at Fadley's, which our friends at Fadley's and our friends at Costas really inspired all of this. I mean, we're on day 21 doing all this crazy. We went across the border, and we began – I know we're cleaned up now, but we began the day having –
Which border are we talking about?
Delaware.
All right.
I had that argument with Michael Steele today because I told him we're south of the border. That meant they were Redskins fans. That's like we're from Baltimore.
Ocean City's a melting pot. I'm a Packers fan, so –
and neutral, as long as you're not Steelers.
Exactly.
We can do all that.
We get Steelers, Eagles, Skins, Ravens. We got it all here.
So we went across the border, and we haven't gone into Delaware much, although they have great Royal Farms locations. They're NY's locations as well, but there is no Coons Ford of Security Boulevard in Delaware. We did kangaroo yoga to begin our day. So this was all about like discovering, doing different things. She walked to the end of the inlet today, right?
Yep, first time
we had our first crab cake here in Ocean City at Harrison's with the mayor 3 weeks ago.
And I missed that.
Yeah, she wasn't in for the first go-round. I went to Blue with the Toston family.
Yeah.
So many of you are family people.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with those guys. People think of Ocean City as such a huge place, and to me and other locals, it's a very small town.
In the winter, especially.
Yeah, and all of us, our parents, helped, the grandparent generation really started Ocean City. Our parents' generation really refined and founded a lot of the businesses. And now, there's that generational shift, and a lot of us that are in our late 20s, early 30s are starting to take over some of those businesses. But, I literally grew up with Cole and those guys. So
Good. Garvey Heiderman here, the Hobbit. You're going to go make a crab cake. I think Jen and I are going to tell some stories here. And whenever the crab cake comes, and I know it'll take 10, 15 minutes, we'll break, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to have a proper... This feels like a romantic Saturday night. I mean, I got you a nice headset to wear here.
How romantic.
Cool.
She is so bored with my radio career after 18 years, right?
I'm gonna go catch them and steam them and pick them
all
up.
All right, Garvey's out. We're at the Hobbit, and we can adjust the camera. Jen, show everyone how beautiful this is. We're here. It's early enough in the day. If you're watching on the video, I mean, it literally looks like something. I mean, you could be in Louisiana, you could be in Africa somewhere with the high grass and the low grass and the birds in the trees. Jen's been looking at herons out here. Tell everybody how much you love to say Assawoman Bay and how that makes you giggle.
Assawoman Bay.
It makes you giggle like a schoolgirl.
It makes me giggle
every time.
Yep.
All right, so what's your favorite part of the trip? Tell everybody while I get the white.
My favorite
We have white
part of the
tablecloth
trip.
today. It's going to be so nice. Do you know how to set this right, like Southern?
Yes.
Like Eastern. You do? Okay. Well, let's make sure we're doing that while telling stories.
Little fork on the outside, bigger fork towards
this
the
crab
plate.
cake's going to be great. He talked about it in the way that we've had the best crab cakes, right?
Yeah.
The best crab cakes have been Maryland.
Absolutely true blue.
Well,
a crab cake is not a Maryland crab cake if it doesn't have Maryland crabs. That's
you drive me nuts when you're on the show because your level.
I'm sorry.
She starts to whisper, and then I got to turn the volume up.
I'm not used to it.
You
I'm
talk
an amateur.
a lot when we're alone. You know what I mean? Like so. Now
and I'm pretty damn funny too.
She's real, and I just want you to be funny for everyone else. Everyone knows you're beautiful; they just don't know you're funny.
Yeah, nobody
right?
gets to experience this all the time.
You want to talk about? So we're 21
Favorite
days
part of
in.
the trip.
So we've had thunderstorms. We've slept on boats. We haven't been to Western Maryland, although
it's coming.
We are coming. Wednesday, we're headed to
Be prepared.
Deep Creek. We're going to be in Frederick. We're going to be in Hagerstown. We're going to be in Cumberland. I can't wait to take this train.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with the Frostburg Flyer.
Frostburg Flyer.
I've never been to Frostburg. I've had a lot of friends flunk out of Frostburg, but I've never and Salisbury.
Right.
But I've never been to Frostburg. So I did go whitewater rafting one time. Oh, she's
Look
got
at the
birds.
blue heron.
Oh my God!
It's right out the window. It's very cool.
We have a blue heron that is literally.
And there's been like 3 that flew by.
I could easily throw a baseball that far. I said, it's 40 yards, 30 yards, 50 yards, maybe less than 50 yards. That's I mean, and we're at the Hobbit, and we're on 81st. We've had so many different
experiences.
Yeah,
it's just been beautiful. I mean, regardless of the weather, the sights, the water, the estuaries, the ebbs
bridges,
and flows, the tides, the bridges, the birds. Frogs. We saw that one huge frog. And the little turtle, too.
I learned why we're near the video in the arcades today. We're down at Jolly Roger. Now I know why they played the game Frogger. You know, like how frogs jump out in thunderstorms north of, like, Cambridge. We've had awful weather. We drove around southern Maryland. It was terrible as we drove through St. Mary's and Leonardtown. And then we've had, like, really glorious weather. 72 degrees. I mean, we've had so much fun at Fager's Island. Mike Beatty and Batman, my dear friend growing
running
up.
into people you wouldn't expect, and the different connections of all those people. It was really neat.
Connections to the
it's
heat.
Like small to more south.
The heat and the cold sweat horns you had never heard of.
Yeah.
And we went back 2 nights in a row because they were so amazing. So we love music, and we're down here, and we've done a Bruno Mars concert with masks on.
Yeah, that did start. Right.
I guess reviewing the tour, and we've had at least 1 crab cake a day every day.
And most days too. When I've been with you, we've done 2.
Well, because weekends we've been just driving a lot, and we've settled down a little bit more. Western Maryland is going to be crazy because I can't even come into the Hobbit. I don't even really know. I know it's going to be green. I know there's a lake. I've seen pictures, but I hear the lake's really big, like really big in a way that.
But is it like Winnipesaukee big?
I don't know. We would have to Google that. Like, you grew up on a lake, so you like mosquitoes and bugs.
I don't like mosquitoes. I have never liked mosquitoes.
You bring them, you lure them to bite me.
Better you than me. God, we used to swell up every time we got. Like, we would, be out camping and stuff. You get bit on the eyelid and your eyes all swollen shut.
Oh, my God. That's happened to me.
That's happened before.
Oh, I've been bitten everywhere, man. See, this is the thing about me. You think I'm such like a softie and I've never camped. I was a Boy Scout. I camped at Elk Neck State Park, as a Cub Scout overnight in like a bag.
In a bag? A body bag?
Yeah, my
sleeping bag?
My brother had a Prowler camper. We camped at Morris Meadows across the York state line. We camped at Myrtle Beach. I camped at AOK in Bear, Delaware. Hundreds of nights I spent in that trailer. Peeing in the bathroom, gloves on to get all the duty out of the bottom of it, unhitching the trailer to the Malibu, meeting girls at the pool, sneaking beer, doing belly whoppers off the
belly whoppers?
Yeah, off the springboard.
Belly flop?
I was a chunky kid. By the way, I'm getting fat on this tour.
We did have Thrasher's fries today.
They were so good. She kept dumping vinegar on them.
And it sinks to the bottom.
And then it's really good.
Right, yeah.
Then you get it's like a treat at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, I like vinegary, tart stuff more than you do. So I'm surprised you ate as much as you did.
I want to talk crab cakes with you because, like, you didn't even really like crab cakes. And I've told friends of mine, I told Dennis this on the show this week, and Leonard Rask and some others. Bill Cole had him on the show. Todd Schuler came on the show this week. I said, when she eats more of the crab cake than I want her to eat, because I'll take the first bite, and she'll be like, well, how is it? And I'll be like, really, really good. And she'll be like, you know, and then the second bite, then the third bite.
Wait, but then he's like, when we have a bad
And
one,
then I'll
here,
pull it
try it. I'm like, you want me to try it? If you don't even like it,
How is it that we've had
like
bad
it?
crab cakes? I mean, it's my fault.
But it's nobody's fault. I mean, we got recommendations, and
Lots
they
of
just
recommendations.
Flopped.
I've had a couple of places that I've had to go because of day of the week, and this was a little bit like the baseball tour. Like, there's only some nights there's only two games being played. They're on a Monday and a Tuesday in this state, especially in Havre de Grace or Westminster, small towns. You know, restaurants are closed. I mean, they're not 7-day-a-week endeavors, and I've had to, you know, pick some. And I don't feel like I slummed at any point. I feel like I went to venerable, awesome places.
Like institutions.
Yeah, and they all have made crab cakes a different way, whether it's pan fried, deep fried, broiled on the top, lots of mayonnaise, not lots of mayonnaise, lots of filler, and I don't. Filler's such a wrong word.
I don't think we've gotten a lot of binder.
Well, but if you're going to fry it, it has that binder.
Right, because it'll fall apart.
It'll completely fall apart.
But I do like it broiled with that crispy bottom, like if they do it in one of those hot plates or something, and then stick it under like the salamander and get it all.
I've always told my sponsors when they send me a crab cake, and God bless Costas and Fadley's, they're our greatest, you know, they've been our greatest supporters. They really inspired doing this, and we've been married 18 years. Mm-hmm. You've known me a long time. I've had a couple of sponsor crab cakes. Michael's has been a sponsor over the years. Green Spring Station in Hampshire. I love their crab cakes. I mean,
now I'm going to have to go back and try it.
Their crab cakes were always similar to Angelina's, which is my favorite crab cake as a kid. I think Michael's in Timonium, very similar. I don't know about the Michael's on Eastern Avenue, although I did have my 9th grade prom date there. I went to the Michael's, at El Reno Street, Folcroft, by the post office. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It used to be called Smitty's. Old school.
I was going to say, it looks old school, like a German
I want to go there.
Village type
I totally
building,
want
right?
to go there. Don Moeller had dinner there recently, so if anybody knows those folks in that wouldn't be Highlandtown, although that's the Highlandtown Post. It's a 21224 post office. I would call it the ABC Streets. I would call it near City Hospital. I don't even know what to call that.
Bayview.
I lived
near
there.
Bayview.
I lived on Cane Street. I lived 6 blocks from there.
Well, now they've all built up that area,
life.
too.
But I would say this, for all the crab cakes and the styles, and I say this to Nick and Pete, I say this to Damie, not so much to Damie, because when I bring a Fadley's crab cake home, I usually devour it, right?
Yes.
Like, you know that. It's 6
but
blocks
now
from my
you're going to have
house.
to share.
But if it's in the refrigerator and I had people send me home with crab cakes, I would, you've seen this, Jen, I pan fry it, and I put a little olive oil, and I give 0 Fs. I just eat it. It's not pretty. It's crispy, like my mom would say.
I like it crispy.
It's like, you know, but that's not what you should be doing for $60 a pound with this delicate meat. I don't even. If Jack Brooks's meat, if that's what we're eating here, that came straight from Cambridge, that's straight out of the Chop Tank River, and this might be one of the greatest crab cakes we've ever had. Like, and I've been told. I went into.
Although we're not grading them.
I want to give a free plug to an Ocean City place that I've been to twice since we've been here. I took you in. We had the best wings of the year for you, right?
Oh yeah, those were good.
We went to Coastal Salt,
and they were like buffalo sauce almost, but with Parmesan cheese in it, so it toned it down a little bit. And they were really
She
good.
ordered a second order. On a rainy day, we were there. It's on
I probably
boardwalk.
would have ordered a third.
So I went into Coastal Salt, and I told this story to Bill Cole. And I had a long political conversation with 4 folks, 2 couples, and there was a bartender and some other people that had recognized me. I guess my hair was out at that time. And they all said, they're all Ocean City centric people, and they all said, you've got to go to the Hobbit. You're not doing a crab cake tour if you're not going to the Hobbit in Ocean City. And I said, fair enough. The people at Harrison's and Blue, they're all like, yeah, Hobbit, has kind of a legendary crab cake. So we've had a couple of really amazing crab cakes, including at Harrison's and Blue. Like, I've called Dorchester County the crab cake capital of the Eastern Shore. We had a couple of great crab cakes in the Cambridge area.
Right.
Very different crab cakes. Suicide Bridge, Ocean Odyssey in Cambridge.
Odyssey was good.
Suicide Bridge is in Hurlock, outside of Secretary. You go to the Confederate flag.
And take a left.
And then you take a left, right. So you just look for the Confederate flag, and you make the left. Right under the F. Biden and the Trump 24, let freedom live again. And then you go through the Blackwater Refuge, which looks
similar to what?
Dude, that heron is still there.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show everybody the heron. Watch how technology works. So I'm going to take a picture of the heron so everybody can see it, and then I'm going to show everybody on the screen.
But yeah, if you've never been to Blackwater Refuge, it's beautiful. You pay, what was it, $3 a car?
So it's like heron that look like that. That's what's out the window right now. That literally, I just took that picture. That heron is just chilling. Bet he wants our crab cake.
He ain't getting it.
No chance. So we went.
So wait, are
Hooper's
you
Island. We're talking about Hooper's
right,
Island.
Hooper's Island. That was
which didn't look dissimilar to this.
No, not as much marshiness, which I love. It's just, I don't know, beautiful.
Somebody's parasailing here over top of the
bridge.
Assawoman Bay Bridge. She giggles every time. You giggle like Dolly Parton. It's hilarious.
It's silly. Why would they call it Assawoman?
Ask the Indians. I don't know.
Is it
Before
stinky?
people came and killed them and named football teams after them. I don't know.
Is it stinky over there?
All right. We're taking a break now. That's why I don't have you on the show.
Right. I just, tank it. Right? Oh, speaking
I love having you on the show,
You talked
actually.
about people coming up to you and talking. When we were driving this morning on our way up to
8
the
o'clock, I'm having
Delaware
coffee.
Preserve.
Guy yelled out the
He
window.
rolled down his
8:05
back
this
window.
morning. We're at 50th Street.
Hey, Nestor!
You had a crab cake yet? It's 8:05 in the morning, dude. I'm going to do kangaroo yoga in Delaware. We're going to Selbyville to see Foreign. All right.
Wow. Wow.
Can you baby?
Look at, he even got
Look at
dressed up
that.
for this.
You don't get these are special. You don't give these. Do you make crab
It's
cakes like
date
this for
night.
everybody? He gave us asparagus on date night. This is going to be. Hold it up. I just want to hold it up, and we're going to take a break, okay? And then we're going to eat this thing. All right, Garvey's here. Garvey Heiderman runs the Hobbit. We're at the Hobbit, this beautiful place. We're on 81st Street.
Oh, sure.
Oh, my
I'm not
goodness. Is
gonna
that a
turn it
Chardonnay?
down.
What is
no,
that?
it's Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc. Because this pairs. You know what? We have not had a glass of wine.
Nope.
We've had beer. We've had bad crab cakes. We've had great crab cakes, but we've not had any wine at all. So here's what. I'm going to step back. He's
we're
white
gonna eat
tablecloth in this. And we're going to do this the right way before we sign off, all right?
Costume change.
Costume
Yes.
change. Look at this. He's
All
come back.
dressed
Look
up.
at this, man. Well, it is date night. It's a Saturday night. We're at the Hobbit. We are in 10 miles of memories. Probably have 11 or 12 because I've been to Dewey Beach a couple of times and up the road. But we're in Ocean City. We're in 81st. We're Bayside. It is beautiful. The sun is setting here. The clouds are moving down, and it's a Saturday night in Ocean City. Day 21, and the
Looks pretty good.
legendary Hobbit crab cake is coming up next. We'll take a break. We'll come back for more. I'm Nestor. She's Jen. You can hashtag her at Jen Strong. You can hashtag the Crab Cake Tour at Crab Cake Tour. From Ocean City to Deep Creek Lake in Oakland. We're doing it all this week, right? From one end of the state to
Ziplining?
the other. There's a rumor Larry
Can I
Hogan's
get you
coming on
hiking?
too. I got some inside tips last night of Fagers from Secrets from the inside. Kiefer Mitchell that maybe that Governor Hogan would not turn down. Garvey's eating the crab cake. He doesn't just make it. He's over here off camera eating it. We're back for more. We're going to talk crab cakes and more from Ocean City right after this.